Hello. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that has ruled much of my 20s. Hi, Fozzie. Are you coming up? I'm going to talk about the difference between. Do you have something to say? Okay, that's actually kind of rude and probably sounds horrible, and I'm sorry. Come up. Oh, now he wants to play. He was asleep before I started doing this. Ow, come here. I want to talk about the difference between anxiety and intuition. That's been such a biggie for me because those can feel really intertwined, and sometimes they actually are. I've found that sometimes my anxiety is louder when I'm ignoring my intuition, which is why it can be hard to decipher when it's just anxiety or just intuition, because oftentimes the intuition kind of comes with anxiety, whereas anxiety can exist by itself for me and does definitely. I have found that those voices have actually been really different and have had really different functions for me. So my intuition has quite literally saved my life. I think a lot of women probably feel that way. Just that little gut feeling of like, don't get in that car, or don't trust that person, or the reverse, like this person's trying to help me and for some odd reason they do seem trustworthy, or I like them, or this girl's really sweet and I'm gonna go with her. Like those kinds of like little moments of kind of forks in the road of knowing like, okay, my gut was right and thank God I trusted it. That voice always feels a little bit more like steady to me. It's not wavering, it's very quiet actually, and just like sure of itself. Whereas my anxiety voice, which took me so long to name because I feel like I wasn't really aware that I had anxiety. I really thought a lot of my stresses or anxieties were situational. So it's finals, or my mom and I are in a fight, or something that was very like, of course I'm anxious about this thing. And then when I was like out of college, it became really apparent that I was anxious when things weren't going on. Like I had downtime or I was on a vacation. That was really clear to me. I went on this big solo trip, and on the trip, I was really anxious and crying and kind of wandering around and feeling really off. That was me having anxiety and trying to notice and name that. And that voice is really fear-based for me. It's loud, it's rude, it's like a bully, fully just not a nice person. And it kind of reminds me of that book, The Untethered Soul. The point of the book is that the voice in the head in your head is not you. You are observing the voice in your head. So how could that voice in your head be you, whether it's saying something really negative or really positive? So assigning meaning to the things that that voice says doesn't make sense. It's an illogical thing to do. And if it was another person, like a roommate or a friend saying those things to you, you would be like, be quiet. So how can we learn to quiet that voice, basically? And when that voice is quieter, I think that it's easier to find and follow that intuition. And to me, that feels more physical. So my mom would always say when I was little, she would say, trust the feeling in your heart, the warning in your stomach, and the voice in your head. And I think the order of that is really important because the voice in your head is last there. The feeling in your heart is, to me, that like sort of guide that you're like, I don't know what this is or where this is coming from, but I'm going to trust this. Or it's at least leading me down the path I'm supposed to be on. The warning in your stomach is really that gut intuition of like, do or don't do this thing. I don't know why, but it does or doesn't feel good. Don't take the job. Do leave the job. Trust that person. Don't trust that person. I like this apartment feels good. This one doesn't. Whatever. That's the stomach feeling to me. And then the voice in your head being last is absolutely correct, is the last thing that you lean on is if that voice is getting louder and louder, but do listen to it in those moments of like very important decision making. The other pieces that come up for me, oh yeah, so while intuition has kind of almost saved my life, I think anxiety is this weird thing that's almost honestly like emotionally killed me in moments of nothing else going on, of like just remembering like this pacing late night intense feeling of anxiety running the show. And what's helped me kind of tap into quieting that and raising the intuitive voice are things where I actually need to like get quiet and have alone time. I think everyone's different, but to sort of unentangle those two voices, is like a long, quiet walk in nature, like no sounds, running with no music. Sounds crazy, but like just letting your thoughts actually come up. To me, those are meditative things, and it's helpful for me to move my body because I have ADHD and sometimes the sitting still meditations are hard. I definitely do those too, but if I need a longer sit or a longer think, it's nice to be moving, hiking, whatever for those. Breath work has been the most helpful for me. The clearest intuition, gut feelings come up for me, even if they're not like your life path. It's what you feel right now. It's this level of acceptance when I've done a longer breathwork class where it's like, okay, this is the thing you keep shoving down. Here it is, present in your head. No shame, no, like it's quiet in this space where it's just coming into your mind and just actually like looking that in the face. That's a really big space for me to acknowledge those things. And also, if you can read or like listen to other people who are like experts on this topic, I really love Cheryl Strayed. And I just listened to her book that I've actually read before called Tiny Beautiful Things. It's based on her Dear Sugar column. And she has so many, I mean, just listen to it, trust me, or read it. It'll put a lot of perspective on your life. But there's one chapter specifically where she talks about the core. Okay, I'm reading the quote. Sorry, I haven't memorized it. But the Cheryl Strayed quote on the core, the gut feeling is you can't fake the core. The truth that lives there will eventually win out. It's a God we must obey, a force that brings us all inevitably to our knees. It's the knowing that you're just trying to shove off, that your body is like, nope, this is going to come up. We're handling this either today or later. And that's kind of the summary of that chapter is she ends it with being like, will this happen today or will this happen another day? Because it's in your core. Oh, another thing I would say is journaling, obviously huge. Just like a flow state, even if it's something you have to rip out and throw away because it's like so icky, like your thoughts or feelings are feeling wild, just scribble in like incoherent sentences and words that make no sense to anyone but you, and then take it out and throw it away just to like purge it out of your body. To me, that's helped so much with you get the anxiety out there, and then the intuition is what like is laying underneath. And I will say that I think sometimes that anxiety is your body or your mind screaming, hey, listen to me. You're ignoring this gut feeling, you're ignoring this intuition, and it gets so loud and tries to get you in all these other angles that make no sense and are not about the thing that you're feeling or intuiting on. It's just like this loud other voice saying like, hey, 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 listen, listen. And when you can quiet that, whether it's with, meditative practice or like actual medication through a doctor, of course, I'm not an expert. But I'll take even just like a beta blocker sometimes to just quiet my heart rate and my body to relax so that I can actually process what's coming up for me. That will change your life. Just if you can get in that space, however you get there. I mean, how hi Fuzz. How we each handle anxiety is, completely up to us. I think that's such a personal decision, and it depends on like how it's affecting you and the varying levels of the physical and emotional response you have to it. Some people need medication, it saves their lives. There's other people who learn to manage it in other ways, which power to them. It's important to manage it because once you quiet that voice, the real voice can come through of like actual logic and how are we going to handle this, and using your brain properly when you're not kind of just scrambled and all over the place. Ultimately, the quiet, steady voice, the one that like isn't loud but won't shut the fuck up, is just saying the same thing for months, years, what however long, weeks it takes for you to hear something. Like it's like this quiet little nagging. That's your intuition. And the anxiety is the very in your face kind of rude roommate voice that you're just observing and saying, okay, thank you. And we'll circle back. It's the email you're putting at the bottom of your inbox to say, I appreciate you and there's a reason you're coming up, but not right now. Anyway, that's the lessons of my 20s. I really have these moments where I've remembered my intuition being so strong. Little things like a car passing by that totally creeped me out and me hiding and it like circling and it was a dark street and knowing like, yeah, that was someone creepy. Like I just had a bad feeling. those little, and I was in like middle school or high school. We'll get into me sneaking out in middle school another time and how dumb that was. But my little gut guardian angel was like, get away from this car, get to a safe space, like listen to that. Don't ever let yourself feel like pressured to be cool. If that gut feeling comes up, listen to it. I made my friends hide in a bush from that car, and then I had to wake up my sister to come pick me up because I had a bad feeling if I came out. And who's to say, but I'm glad that I listened to it. My 14-year-old little intuitive brain was firing off. There's been a lot of times like that where, like, the night I snuck out for the last time, I had a bad feeling about it. And that was the night we got caught. We snuck out every weekend. But I remember pausing and being like, maybe I don't want to sneak out, or maybe this isn't a good idea. And then that's the night a cop drives by while 10, 14-year-olds are walking down the street and makes me wake up my mom. And then anxiety has been the keep me up in the middle of the night, zero sleep, trying to like physically calm myself. Not a helpful time to have these thoughts or feelings. Like that is uh the anxiety voice. So pacing around and listening to her is an exhausting thing, and like learning to manage that has absolutely saved my physical and mental health. There's nothing more vital. And just knowing like when to up therapy, when to get medical help, when to like just listen to your body, or just like lean into, okay, I'm not going to shove this down. If it's coming up, then we're journaling at 2 a.m. That's what we're doing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on anxiety versus intuition. But I really do take it back to the Cheryl Strait of, you can't fake the core. The truth that lives there will inevitably win out. Talk about lowering my anxiety. Get an ESA. That'll lower your anxiety. Okay, love you guys. Bye.